Cheap Shot.
Hello and welcome to another Cheap Shot Entertainment System. Game of the week, we're playing Batman Arkham Origins, a game that gets a lot of hate, but I'm trying my best today for this Game of the Week to convince you to give it another try, because it genuinely is a good game. Now, the hate came from the fact that it wasn't done by Rocksteady, who made Arkham Asylum, great game, Arkham City, great game, and this was never seen as part of that series, apart from the Arkham game. Now, I think that's an absolute travesty. I mean, look at the visuals on this. It's an extension of those first two games. Look at the state of this. First time we get a fully realised Batcave as well. Yes, there was a couple in Arkham Asylum, but they're nowhere near this. I mean, you've got the Bat computer, you've got Alfred in here as well. But hopefully you're going to go through some gameplay, the first part of the game, again, telling you how much I love this game. Yes, it's set at Christmas and I'm playing it in July, but that seems to be the trend, because there are Christmas movies on as we speak. And obviously Alfred plays that character where he's the voice of reason throughout the whole of the game. Storyline wise, it is Black Mask who is the main villain in this one. We even get the little chamber where the bat suit comes up, which we'd see again in Arkham Knight. But that serves as all the bat suits that you during your playthrough. That serves as a way of changing into that. You don't just choose it from the menu and then it changes. You actually have to physically get changed. It's all set on Christmas Eve as well. It gives it a nice dusk overview. You get snow. We've even got the Batwing you can just see, which allows us to do a lot of things that you can't do in other games, including fast travel. So if you want to get somewhere really quick, you can indeed. Now,
Commissioner Loeb before it's too late.
We also get different parts of Gotham City, including Blackgate Prison. All the detail in here. Blackgate Prison. It's got the logo. This is the tutorial mission, obviously, so it's going to tell you how to do certain things. But the learning, as with other Arkham games, never stops. Because throughout the game, you'll be hit by different enemies. You'll have to do different things to get past those enemies, and it's quite varied in that respect. One thing that hasn't really changed is the aesthetic. As you can see, it's dark, it's dingy, it's got tones of grey, much to Batman's love. But then you get scenes like this, the shoulder of Batman and the shadow, and all of a sudden you've got the villain. He's turning around, and we're just going to beat him up and hold him against the wall, because, you know, we're gonna. Yeah, there we go.
No, stay away! Don't hurt!
Don't hurt me. He's gonna smack me with a bloody pipe.
Don't hurt me!
But again, this is early in Batman's career, early into Bruce Wayne becoming the Batman. So all of that inexperience shows throughout this game, and I absolutely love it for that. Some things I don't like. There's a lot of Titan battles, even though certain characters are realised very differently to other games. There are still the same things, same tropes for big enemies that you'll see. So the idea being that Black Mask has put out a hit on Batman, on Bruce Wayne. He doesn't know, no one knows at this point in time that he is Batman. And like I say, even Commissioner Gordon doesn't work with Batman at this point in time because he's considered a vigilante. And that's what we love about Batman, isn't it? We've got the menus as well that you've just seen. So yeah, PS3 game. It hasn't yet had a digital remaster, much like the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City games, which I do have on my shelf for PS4. And incidentally, I got rid of them for PS3. That's a shame. But yeah, obviously the original Arkham games were on PS3. You can see the reaction of the prisoners there, sometimes wanting to fight you, all the time backing off when they realise who you are, because it was presumably Batman that would put them in there in the first place. We're going to get our first taste of combat now. Same combat system. Square is strike, triangle is reversal or counter, and you can pick up different weapons and throw them at people. There are different things you can do in this game that you couldn't do on the others, which I do find a bit strange, but in the timeline of it, because you don't pick those certain things up until Arkham City in the previous game. But it does make sense in the fact that it's going to interrogate this.
How the hell should I know?
I'm going to make you talk. How much pain you endure before that is in your hands.
Screw you!
I don't have time for this.
Okay. He said it to the execution chamber. With Loeb.
Smart move. Now you get to take a nap.
Oh, badass. Well, yeah, this game gets a lot of hate. Obviously, you can see in the grand scheme of things that Blackgate Prison is basically Arkham Asylum, but that's the way it was designed, because Arkham Asylum came after the... oh, there we go, look. Yeah, so Arkham Asylum came after Blackgate Prison, and obviously we'd go on with the Arkham series. You'd have Arkham City, which, as far as I'm aware, is quite new for the Batman series, so it was obviously a new thing, but we get different levels in Arkham Origins than we did in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Obviously Arkham Asylum was based around one single place. Arkham City had different places you could go, including indoor environments and a massive city that you could fly around as well. Say fly, more like glide. And you could glide forever, pretty much. You could glide from one side of the map to the other. Now, again, one thing that's been picked up from those games is you get your combos, and you get to a certain point and you can do a flashy move as well. Well, like I say, some of the things you can do doesn't make sense in the timeline officially, but it makes sense in the fact that this is the third game, so you would want to make the third game better, or you want to add new things in. Killer Croc gets a younger makeover in this as well, obviously, because he's younger than he is in Arkham Asylum. One of the best boss battles I've ever had is Killer Croc in Arkham Asylum. Had me on the edge of my seat, and it still does now when I replay it. Something else interesting about Arkham Origins. It's made by Warner Brothers Montreal, which is why it gets the hate, because, like I mentioned earlier, it's not Rocksteady. Rocksteady built the foundations though, and you can fully tell that this is a Rockstar game. Sorry, not Rockstar, a Rocksteady game. By the way it's designed, they use all of the tricks and tools, and I think Montreal did a really good job of incorporating new things, including the first time ever. Well, actually, no, it's not the first time ever, but they realise it a little bit better in this one. Is the detective aspect of Batman, which doesn't really get explored very much, and I really appreciate the fact that this does explore that element of the Batman and Bruce Wayne. After all, his moniker is the world's greatest detective, not just Batman. So we've got that as well, which I think is extremely cool. And yeah, like I say, a lot of the aesthetic from Arkham Asylum is within Blackgate Prison, and you can fully tell that is the case. Of course, elements they have brought back the explosive gel, something you don't get until later on in Arkham Asylum, and to some extent Arkham City. So you get that straight away in this one. And like I say, it follows the path of Batman as he's being hunted by assassins, followed by the inclusion of a lot of different criminals, some new ones as well, including Copperhead, which I believe is something that was made up for this game, which is pretty darn cool. So yeah, like I say, a lot of things are the same. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. I think it's a good game. I've never really understood why there's a lot of hate, because I think combat is a lot smoother than the previous two games as well. Yes, the areas are more closed in, of course they are, but once you get out of Blackgate Prison, once you get out into the Gotham City area, it's huge, and you know, it's covered in snow, an added element. You see a lot of thugs wearing Santa hats and things like that, and just little things like they're singing Christmas carols, or they're wearing, like I say, they're wearing Santa hats, or they're talking about getting presents for their kids. I mean, these are thugs that are employed by dangerous criminals, and they're talking about getting presents for their kids, which are, you know, little touches is brilliant. And yeah, it's described as more of a spin-off. I don't think it is. It's always difficult to go back, of course, and work on the lore in terms of the fact that a lot of it's already been done.
I found this on the web.
And thank you very much for Siri for that one. But yeah, I mean, I've played through this game multiple times. There are certain things that are extremely annoying. I love the fact that it's set in winter, because that's not been done in an Arkham game, and the fact that it's yeah, it's just good. It's just a good game. I don't know what more to say
I need you
about
to
it.
press both switches at around the same time to open that door.
And obviously you get the tips and stuff like that. So if you're on a certain bit, and you're sort of struggling what to do, oh, there's a chapel, then it will tell you, and that's good. You can turn that off as well, which is again good. You've got the, like I say, you can really tell the aesthetic here is Arkham Asylum, and they've lifted a lot of things from Arkham Asylum, including using the same sort of skin for the walls and stuff like that. So we'll move on.
What's all this about, Sionis? Haven't I always come through for you?
You may have, Gillian, but things have changed. We're starting with a clean slate, and you're not on it.
What are you talking about? I'm not on it? After all I've done for you. I'm a police commissioner, damn it!
Show's over, boys.
Straight out the bat as well. You know, they go straight into it, quite dark, putting a police officer in a gas chamber. Obviously there was an early reference here to Calendar Man.
Black Mask has a lot to answer for.
It doesn't really come up much at all, considering that, you know, the game starts saying about capture of Calendar Man, trial. The fact that he was caught and everything. I suppose that actually, thinking about it now, as we finish this guy off, thinking about it now, Calendar Man is in the courtroom holding cells in Arkham City, so that's actually a pretty good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good, to be fair. So yeah, he's still in the holding cells, so can't be that much time in between. There's theories that it's quite a long time in between this and Arkham Asylum. Obviously a bit more grizzled at that point, but obviously there's lots of things that he's done in between. And as we start heading towards the very first boss battle, pick up a memory card again, a bit out of sync with the timeline, but you know, they can change what years it is and stuff like that.
I should be able to recover
You know, if
most
we're
of the
talking
data
about
back in the Batcave.
the very beginning of Batman's career, then we're talking about the 50s, aren't we, or earlier. However, you know, for modern audiences, why not bring in things like memory cards and mobile phones and things like that? Because the technology in them can really be used by Batman to do a lot of things. So, yeah. And here we go. The very first boss battle. This is not a foundation for the rest of the boss battle, because there are some, and I won't spoil it, that are, and I consider to be, one of the best boss battles that you will ever have on a video game. And possibly the best boss battle in any
I know
of
icon's
the
yours.
Arkham games. Pure combat, rather than it being use weapons, run around, run after them, move away, they've got other people coming, etc, etc. It does follow some of those tropes, but this particular boss battle is just phenomenal. and it does lead to other things as well, which is cool. Like I said, tropes of the big boss battles, the big guys in boss battles that we've seen in previous Arkham games are all throw a batarang, knock them off their feet, stun them, and then beat them down. Although, no, it's a big outcome in Arkham City. Again, slightly different, but you're mashing buttons. Incidentally, I do like this version of Killer Croc because it's a bit more sort of man-sized rather than behemoth size like he is in Silo. So I like the fact that they've changed character designs, and I respect that. It would have been so much easier to just, you know, do it easy and just use the same design, wouldn't it? I mean, obviously Batman never really changes, so you've got that, but you've got, yeah, genuine sense of dread when he's trying to eat you, which is really cool. But obviously the trick is that you just mash the button and when he kicks out he just smashes the floor and knocks you down. So again, as you go through the game, you will find that you can unlock new powers and combat moves, radiant suit, the same kind of stuff that you can do in big Batman games.
I want answers.
The slight differences. He's obviously very angry here. Doesn't really have much thought about what he's doing. Obviously,
What
that comes
assassin?
with games that follow as well.
Whoever wins is gonna be famous.
At least we know he won't.
I feel like he takes out Killer Croc a little bit easily. If I'm honest with you. You've got this dynamic here as well, like I said, with the police not working alongside Batman, but working against him. Once again, and again, the use of it, you jump in, you go somewhere fast and then you jump out. So you don't actually fly it. I quite like that. You can traverse the city without the use of that as well. But as you'll see in just a second, you can go round and see different things in the Batcave. There's a lot of detail in here. So we've completed that objective.
I just ran into a human-shaped crocodile.
And there's little bits of comedy in it as well, which is always welcome. And like I said earlier, you can upgrade your Wayne tech and you know, add things to your suit as you go along, and it's pretty cool. There's lots of stuff that you can add to it. These are all the basics. These are stuff that you've got already. It does add things like crate takedowns. I think you can do the vent takedowns in here as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, like I say, you can't get the new combat armor, unfortunately, but we'll move on and see what else is available. So you've got the basic batarang. You can boost your glide attack as well. Obviously we couldn't do any of that whilst we was in Blackgate because there wasn't enough room, and for glide attacks you definitely need room to do it, and I always do love a good glide attack and a good inverted takedown, which was always my favourite move. Of course, the enemies, as you go along in all 3 games, become wise to those attacks, and certainly in Arkham Asylum they started planting explosives and things on the gargoyles, so you couldn't do it as much. You've also got the profiles as well, as usual. Batman, Bruce Wayne, Alfred Pennyworth, Vicky Vale, Calendar Man, as I've mentioned before, Julian Gregory Day, as mentioned earlier in the video and earlier in the game, Black Mask, Roman Sionis. Always really liked the Andrade entrance where he came out in the white suit and the black mask, which was pretty cool. Commissioner Loeb and Warden Joseph, who would obviously become a ally to Batman throughout his career. But here he's got both of his hands, and he's a warden at Blackgate. So in the Batcave, so we have got a combat upgrade, and we could have upgraded the armour. Darn. So we'll just have to earn more points as we play through it. That's fine. So yeah, so there's a lot to see. There's obviously, like I say, the back computer down there. You've got the combat stuff you can use. The computer. Well, it's already done this.
Sir, as in more than one.
That's right.
And you heard this from the mouth of a crocodile, man.
His name is Killer
Oh, no.
Croc. He's already behind bars.
Oh,
He's just taking you through the
I don't. Let's see what else is on the drone's hard drive.
storyline
Each of
and
them gets one of
the
these
basics.
envelopes. I need them delivered
the setup,
tonight.
as it were.
They're all hired killers, the best in the business. Black Mask isn't messing around. Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, former military, subject of a failed medical experiment.
Failed, you say?
Garfield Lynns, aka Firefly, burns on 90% of his body. His obsession is going to be his end.
How unlike anyone I know.
Here's a face I don't recognize. Copperhead. Strange. These reports reference a male, not a female.
14 escapes, huh? Well, you won't forget now. What the?
So Copperhead
Floyd Lawton,
is quite a new one.
aka Deadshot.
A Deadshot,
Says here he's an expert sharpshooter.
of course, played by Will Smith.
Suspected of many
the,
assassinations. Dangerous, but reckless.
Suicide Squad.
Street tough named Lester Baczynski. Calls himself Electrocutioner.
Executioner, and
Shocking.
expect some of these
Shiva.
weapons
Her
to be
skill is
adapted
unmatched.
during the course of the game. So all through it, you've got this about 50 million to kill the bat.
Gotham.
So he's definitely a wanted man. Even this early on in his career. And Bane, a really big Bane in this game as well. He's not big, he's not dog. He's
Why would he be
proper
taking money as a
military
hired killer?
guy that
Is that Warden
he
Joseph?
should be.
Must be how Black Mask got inside the
He's a
prison.
military brain.
Uses torture for
Obviously,
intimidation
the
and
drugs do
entertainment.
get the better of him, and
Eight
there's a
assassins after
storyline
your
of its
head.
own in there, really,
What are
isn't
you
there? But
going to do?
I'm going to find out who is operating this drone.
Yeah,
Make them tell me
it's,
what they know. Then I'm
a
going
great
to
game,
find
and
Black
if you've
Mask
got a
and put an
PS3,
end to
I'd
this.
definitely encourage that you play it. Really. And that is the end of
Sir,
our
I may
video.
be stating the obvious
So,
here, but you do
I'm
realize
gonna
that
leave you
since you and I
Hope you've
are the
enjoyed
only
this
people
one.
who know the
Something
Batman's
slightly
true
different, going on to
identity,
PS3.
those assassins
Played a lot
will
of
fail
PS2,
their mandate
PS4
if you
online
just
games.
spend the evening
And
here.
it's now time
They'll
to
put
mix
innocents in
things up
danger
a little
to
bit
attract
and
my attention.
play a
I
couple
can't
of
take
PS3
that
games.
risk.
I've got loads.
And you think it's a
I've got
better
some really
idea
good ones
to
as
just
well.
put
So,
yourself in their crosshairs?
I'd like
There's
you to
only
join
one person in Gotham who
for
can get his hands on something like
the
this.
playthrough of those
Penguin.
games as well.
He's been tracking Black Mask.
And
His next
once again,
waypoint was a
thank you
rendezvous
very much
with
for
Penguin's
watching.
men at Jezebel Plaza.
And I'll see you
I'll
soon.
make them talk.
Goodbye.
sure this is wise, sir?
I know what I'm doing.
Well, in case you change your mind and want to train tonight instead, I'll see your training facility active.
Hiya!